Yeah, so if you want to just make sure you're checking in and just mute yourself, and then we'll get started in a few minutes. We'll give everybody at least 2 minutes to kind of get logged in. Hey, Mark. I know you just swallowed something real big.
How are you?
Everybody's eating and
Sorry, I was
drinking.
on mute.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. And that's what we're going to ask you guys to do is just be on mute once we do get started, just because I know we want to be mindful of everyone's time. Just to let you know the format, um, little introduction by David, and then I'll introduce Dean, and Dean's going to be doing majority of the talking on this. So you guys are in for a treat. It's super exciting and very, very informative information for you guys, for your groups, whether you're getting started, starting a second one, or growing your current group. It's going to be very just exciting. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, duh, that's so exciting that he was able to tell us
Mhm.
this. So any questions that you have along the way, and as you think of them, just pop them in the chat, or if you want to write them down and then put them into the WhatsApp, and then we'll get to David and Dean and myself will answer those as we get to them. But it'll be sometime later today. But definitely go in as you think of stuff. If you're able to listen and type, put it in the chat, and we'll make sure we get those questions answered. So make sure too you also are on the WhatsApp, please. Mouthful here. Hey, Leanne, how are you? I know she's on mute. No screen showing. How are you, miss? As you're on mute. It's okay. She is our newest group chair, so it's super exciting to meet someone new. So yay.
Okay, check in.
So is everyone,
Got it.
yeah, check in real quick. And as we already asked, has everyone checked in? Just a thumbs up, because I'm looking around just to make sure we're getting everybody in here. I know I can't say if you're off camera, that's fine. Just make sure you get checked in, please. If
And you
anyone
said
has
something
not,
about WhatsApp?
ma'am.
What you said something about a WhatsApp?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to add you to that. I've got to add you to I've got to add you to the WhatsApp. So what I was saying is we're going to literally it's you're listening to Dean, talk. And I'm just going to kind of be very informal. Dean's going to run his mouth about all kind of amazing stuff to build a group, continue building your existing groups. If you're a franchisee, a regional connector, building a second group, whatever it is, you're going to be very, very blown away by the things he has to say. And I'm asking for you to put your questions in the chat during this call. But if it's too much because you want to pay attention, and I totally get that, if you want to write down your questions, that's fine. And then put them in the WhatsApp later. And then we'll be answering those. Dean, David, or myself will be answering those later this afternoon or tomorrow, because that WhatsApp chat is the best way for all of us to communicate. We send you guys emails once a month informing you different things, whether it's, the topic for the month or any upcoming events. So definitely make sure you're checking your emails from us, and you're also on that WhatsApp. And Leanna, like I said, I've got to get you on that WhatsApp, and I will make sure I get that done today. So you're in there without any questions. So is everyone checked in? I know I just saw Joe just come on. Joe, did you get checked in? Leanne, did you get checked in?
I'm good.
Okay.
Hey, Kimberly, it's Jim
Yes,
Tates.
sir.
I can't scan I'm driving, so I
Okay.
can't scan, but I just want to let you know I'm
I
here.
can check you in. I will check you in
Okay,
because I see you on my screen. I will definitely check
great.
you in.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And I remember you said you were going to be driving, so I totally
Yep.
understand that. So just let me know if
Okay.
anyone has that same issue. Just let me know. And because I see you're on the call, so thank you so much. So I'm
Yeah.
going to go ahead and go to the next screen. I know this is something that we always talk about at the beginning of our meeting, and everyone's kind of how we open up and kind of set the stage, kind of set the culture, kind of set everything going with the meeting. So I would like Leanne, I know you just had a meeting yesterday. Would you please read our mission statement?
We are happily, thank you. We are the preeminent community of entrepreneurs, professionals, and trusted advisors dedicated to each other's success. We are passionate about deep, professional relationships built on trust and integrity. Trustegrity members inspire people, ignite passion, create profit, and make a social impact in the communities we serve.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to stop my share. And David, I believe our amazing CEO is on here as well. He is going to, I told him he had 10 minutes. really want to have him have probably less and tighten that up so we get going. So David Alexander, take it away.
Hello, everyone. I definitely think I can tighten it up a little bit. Kimberly, you always amaze me how you can like organize a call, organize all these people, get everybody checked in, open it up, and actually have a conversation. It's really incredible. So thank you for everything that
You're
you do.
welcome.
So, welcome. I'm glad to see everybody here today. We're actually having a phenomenal year this year, and I'll update you a little bit on the progress that we've made. But first off, I just really want to thank and acknowledge all of you for your leadership in the organization, for your belief in the organization. You, as chairs, are truly the reason why we continue to grow, why we thrive, and we make a difference in the communities that we operate in. One of my favorite parts of that mission statement is making an impact in our local communities, and you're doing that in your local communities. And I think it's amazing. So thank you so much for everything that you do. Today is going to be fun. I am only going to spend a few minutes, as Kimberly said, just kind of giving you an overall update on the organization. Then I'm going to turn it over to the one and only Dean Nolley, and he's going to answer a question, really the question I most commonly get. And that question is, in essence, how do we make our group better? That can be phrased as how do we get more introductions in our group? That can be phrased as how do we, maybe make the knowledge sharing platform a little more robust? How can we make it more dynamic? How can we get more guests? So it falls into a lot of areas, but the basic conversation is how can I help make my group better? And Dean has, not only built a phenomenal group, he's led this group now for a year, and they are doing absolutely miraculous things. So I'm not going to take any of his thunder away. He'll talk to you a little bit about that in a few minutes. So let me kind of share where we stand today. It's actually really cool looking around the Zoom. I think we have people on this Zoom from 10 or 11 states and 11 countries, or excuse me, 11 countries, which is 11 countries, and 2 countries, which, by the way, that's our footprint at the moment. We're closing in actually on around 40 groups. Those groups are in 11 states in the United States and 2 countries. So we're growing, and we're really excited about that. This year has been a bit of a challenge personally for me, so you probably have not heard or seen from me quite as much as normal, and we're growing anyways. So I'm actually really excited to see the growth, even though I haven't been as involved as I normally am due to some personal challenges over the last few months. So I want to recognize a few people who have recently come on board as franchisees. I'll start with actually Trustegrity Canada. Daryl, I saw you somewhere on the screen. Daryl Ross. Yeah, raise your hand big. Daryl Ross, he is currently our regional leader in Vancouver, Canada. He has launched his first group. He's working on the second group currently. And he's also in the process of coming on board as a franchisee and also area developer for the country of Canada. So Daryl, thank you so much for your belief and your hard work and helping us expand to another country. Next, we have, really excited about these 4 individuals. We have Debbie Harris. Debbie, wave your hand really big. She's a new franchisee in Connecticut. We have Rich Stroney, who's also a new franchisee in Connecticut. I think he's on a cruise or on a trip to Alaska right now, so he gets a pass today. We have Jackie St. Peter. Raise your hand really big. She is a new franchisee also in Connecticut. And we have Maya Norwood in Minnesota. Maya, raise your hand. Oh, come on, like a dude a little bit. There you go. Raise your hand really big as well. Really excited to have these folks on board. Debbie actually brings a wealth of experience. She's been in Trustegrity. I'm not going to say the year, so I might get it wrong, but I'm just going to say 12 plus years, and the plus should cover it. And Rich has also been involved for quite some time. Jackie and Meyer are a little newer to the organization, so we're just thrilled to have all of you be a part of what we're doing. In addition to franchisees, as I said a moment ago, Debbie, Rich, and Daryl are all either area developers or moving into the role of area developers. What does that mean? That simply means they're helping us grow across the organization. So if you love what you do so much that you would like to own the area where you do what you do as a chair, you can reach out to any of those folks and they'll guide you along that process of owning the region that you operate in if that is of interest for you. So this year, our focus, and as you know, I send out monthly communications. This year, our focus was Thrive in 25. And we really wanted to dig into that a little bit throughout the course of the year. And we built this whole idea of Thrive in 25 around the concept of the 6 F's. You've all seen this little puzzle that has Trustegrity on it. Then it has the words faith, family, field, finance, fitness, and fun on this puzzle. I encourage you to look at your life, look at your business, and make sure that you're spending time in all of those areas, because life is not just about business. It's about the good things that business can provide for you. So I would encourage you as group chairs within your groups. I've seen several groups doing this year, which is awesome to see. Maybe set some goals, around where you can grow as an individual, even as a group, around those 6 F's. Maybe set some minimum standards. Maybe look at your business and determine what some key criteria that are minimum standards are so you can grow your business. Do that in your fitness. Do that with your family. Do that with your finances. Do that in other areas of your life as well. It really makes a big difference in what you're doing. Over the past few months, I've really, kind of geared our chair communications to focus in on a couple of things, including partner pair up accountability. One of the things that makes this organization work better than any other organization I've ever experienced is the partner pair up program, or the Reconnect Power Group program, which is also driven by the partner pair ups that happen at the group meetings. So I really want to encourage you to make sure that those meetings are happening. Most, if not all, groups are doing those. But it's really important to not only build accountability, but it builds connections, it builds a knowledge sharing platform. It's really a kind of a hallmark of what we do. I also want to encourage all of you to continue to invite guests to be a part of this. Guests are typically blown away by the experience, but the reality is we need more guests in the room for this to work right. Dean is actually going to dig into that a little bit, so I'll save that for him. Lastly, I encourage you to make sure you're using the membership portal. That has been enhanced significantly. As a matter of fact, I logged in this morning and it said, please hit this button as there's a new version of the membership platform. So apparently some updates have been done just in the last couple of days. Lots of information and resources within that platform, lots of ways to connect to each other and other groups around the world. So I really want to challenge you as the leaders you are to lead by example. Look at the 6 F's that I just mentioned. Are you really focused on faith, family, friends, field, fun, and finance? If you are, that's fantastic. Continue to do so. So enough from me. I think I've used up my 9 minutes at this point. I'm getting ready to turn it over to Dean Nolley. And actually, I think I'm turning it over to Kimberly, who's going to introduce Dean Nolley. So I'm going to go back to Kimberly. And Kimberly, if you want to introduce Dean, I will. I'll let you take it from here. Thank you.
Thank you. So Dean's actually, he's got enough introduction for himself, so I don't want to, be repeat here. So he also calls me his sister from another mister. We grew up in the same area. He's a little bit older than I am. But he's an amazing guy. And I know sometimes he's hard-headed and he is probably like our poster child. If we had a poster child for being a group chair that doesn't want to listen, but then they listen and they're like, I got it. This is Dean. So without further ado, now, Dean, are you able to share the PowerPoint or do you need me to do it?
I think I can share.
Awesome, Blossom. Thank you. I'm going to mute myself.
So are you able to see the screen?
It's the entire screen. It's not just the PowerPoint, but that's fine. It's not like the slideshow per se, because I see everything on the left-hand side, but that's okay. I don't know what you need for your note, because I know you're at a client's office. That's much better. Thank you.
That is if we can get the slides going. So, and actually I called Kimberly Mom, but I get in trouble for doing that. We are both from the same town of Shelby, North Carolina. And if anyone knows that, it's a little small mill town and that's why I'm a shy, naive country boy that now goes around Atlanta. But one of the biggest things you'll hear, they wanted me to share a little bit about myself. Hopefully I don't bore everyone to death. I know Bill Frackman's probably sitting there going, oh Lord, here he goes. But you'll find that the family part is critical, and really my entire journey changed from a standpoint that I had moved 5 times in 11 and a half years. My wife had moved twice with me, and we were being asked to move again. She was pregnant with our older son, Alex, on the left. And as we were talking about the move and she was crying, I thought it was probably a good idea to leave corporate and build something in Atlanta. So you'll see a lot about the family, a little bit about the journey, and hopefully these slides will keep going. There we go. The biggest part you'll see, I was with a company called Kodak. When we made the decision to leave, I went to a startup and worked for 5 leaders that were out of Silicon Valley. I was such a good Kodak employee, it was to put film out of business. And we used the Olympics in Atlanta as that catalyst with digital cameras, thermal dye sub printers, and everything around imaging. It was a great run. But one of the things that happened in a great run is that startup gets sold, and none other than Eastman Kodak won the bidding war to actually buy the company. So I knew as they asked me to go back to Rochester, New York, that would not happen. So me and a friend went and started Digital Imagination. That led to us building, growing, and selling Digital Imagination over several years. From that standpoint, I stayed in the PE world, not running the companies, but running sales. So at the Portco level, you'll see some of the companies, ColorStar, Star Imaging, ColorBus. Most were in the software world. From there, went back into corporate through acquisitions of Norm Mosley and Rosen and Interwest, and couldn't wait to get back out into the business. And just a little bit about Digital Imagination. These were a lot of the things we were doing in imaging. Probably our claim to fame was what we did with Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the malls, but really Braves, Olympics, a lot of the big golf courses, Richard Petty driving schools. We did some things with Oscars and a lot of corporate events. In terms of what I do now, and I feel like I'm walking down memory lane because I would have been the world's worst sales-led owner for you to make a call on. If you were going to come in and try to help me with my company and touch the baby we had built, it probably wouldn't have been a good conversation. So now I get to do that. But you'll find me very active in speaking, podcasts, workshops, very much in the CEO peer group world. This is just an example of some of the groups that I work with to touch small business owners. My personal goal is to have a conversation a day with a business owner. I promise I won't sell. I feel like I'm on double secret probation, like maybe Animal House was with the Delta House, because people, and I know that Paul Worley or Steve Landrum, Joe Muskus, Jim Tates, Bishop Bill, that do pretty much the same thing I do, would all agree that it's more to have a conversation, and people expect us to have a silver bullet in what we do. That's not necessarily the case. But again, you'll see me very intentionally focused with Avenir, which this is actually an interesting software that will be hitting the market in about 3 months. I've been on alpha for 2 years, and it's to a beta stage, and it's a very intentional relationship management tool. It probably will actually help even the Trustegrity chairs as we bring this to market. It's just really redefining how you can focus on building those long-term relationships and nurturing them. Just giving you a perspective how you can build out some of the peer groups, because this is kind of the world that I live in today. This is why people need help in sales. for those guys with SX, I kind of built this because I had to figure out where things fit. I mean, it can get pretty confusing to a small business owner with all the things that they need to do. And we try our best to dive in to help them. I kind of see my business in three areas. One, people are going backwards. They need help. You got to kind of dive in and be a builder and architect. You cannot be a consultant there. So you're kind of fixing, repairing, rebuilding. Just like I said before, if my father were alive, I mean, he would be laughing because he would say paybacks are hell. Because again, I would have been the world's worst sales-led owner to call on. So now I get to have the fun of calling on a lot of very successful sales-led women and men that have built companies and have grown them. You can't say things are broken because they've never really been in place. So, and on the higher end, it's really helping companies scale, take them from sustainable to scalable. Just some example of companies. I mean, I'm either in fixing, maybe managing people. At the same time, it could be helping them with CRMs only, engaging with clients. I'm working with customers that are out of Beirut coming into the U.S. in the AI world. Same thing with out of India, but just a whole host of different services that we can provide to help clients. Ultimately, I think, again, Steve, Paul, and Joe and others would agree. I mean, people expect us to have the silver bullet. There's not one. I mean, we're simply trying to dive in and help small business owners achieve their dreams. And I always say that, people want us to be like what I did with K2 Aviation and my family when Denali's were on Mount Denali. But the reality is you're kind of scaling and climbing that mountain. So enough about me. I wanted to get off of that as quick as I could. But in terms of the group, and a lot of people helped me. I know Paul and Bishop, Steve gave a lot of insights. Bill and I worked closely together between Alpharetta and Cumming and tried to do some collaboration because we're so close. The number one part is the ACEs. I got to tell you, this was probably the hardest thing to build. At one time, I thought I had 6 aces, 7 aces. And what you quickly find is it's a lot of hard work. And we wound up with 4 aces to build. Some of the other folks that were going to be aces that didn't actually join the group. But by far the most important thing we did, because I can't imagine building a group with people only like-minded like me. That would not be a good group. So I was blessed to find people like Mark McKenzie, Natalie Corona, Joe Carr, Terry Smith Rocka, people better than me. We knew some of the same people, but we knew a lot of different people. But we all wanted to build something special. And that was the starting point that made the difference. We made every decision together. We pivoted as we grew the group. We're really blessed with is everyone brought in good people. Those people brought in good people. And now the group that we've expanded to, those new members are thrilled to bring in additional good people. So we truly have everyone in the group recruiting and really thinking through who are those right members for the group. We were very, very blessed with the partnership we were able to build with the Forsyth Chamber of Commerce. We had Joe Carr, Steve Risen with the Briskin Cross Sanford Law Firm were both already members of the chamber. I think now there's probably 5, 6 of us members of the chamber. But that location is absolutely a cornerstone of downtown Cumming, Georgia, in Forsyth County. And we sit in their executive boardroom, but this is not just an executive boardroom, it's seminar size, and everything's glass. And we have a tremendous amount of involvement with the chamber that's really helped us build the Trustegrity, and they love having Trustegrity there. From a guest perspective, and I know Bill Freckman would agree with this. When I say that we've had 25 to 30 guests in a meeting, I'm not exaggerating. With us up to almost 23 members, we clearly do not have that number of guests today. But, you know, everyone in our group knows that every guest that visits, someone in that room will be relevant to them and vice versa. So we work really hard to continually have strong guests coming in. We welcome them. We try to build long-term relationships. The one thing that you'll see is we do not put pressure on the guests to join. If anything, we've had to caution and apologize in advance, because what we try to do is to make sure they're fit first, and long term making sure it's the right fit, because you start thinking about money, the day of week. You know, in some cases we have potential conflicts with business professions. We want to make sure we're getting the right people that want to join, but they want to get very active. In terms of the partner pair up, our group size has gotten big to the point that our partner pair ups and our reconnects have become the same group over time. Initially, our partner pair ups were probably no different than most groups. It was probably a one-to-one relationship, or potentially 3-4. And that was a different group than what we would do with reconnects, but you'll see kind of where we've evolved to. But the partner pair ups gave us a great way, and as I'm sure most of you are leveraging that today, to have people meet. The reconnects, we intentionally had different groups for the reconnects, so that every guest and every member would be able to interact with more people. As we got larger, you'll see as we talk about where we are now, that it got very difficult to do that. We are very fortunate on social coordinators. We have two of the founding members, Terry Smith-Rocka and Natalie Corona. You'll see some of this coming up. They have been planning socials from day one. We've done an annual holiday event, and then we do a social each quarter. Those have been very much including the chamber, sister groups of Trustegrity in some cases, and also the guests and members. The intentional touch cadence, and I will tell you that if you asked any member in our group what part do they enjoy the most, I think they all would say the combination. The meetings are, you know, very packed, but exciting. We've built out and tweaked and pivoted on agenda over time. Reconnects, probably what the members look most forward to. And you will see that we've even had the situation that we've had to adjust some things as we get to where we are today, because we had members truly trying to go to 3 or 4 reconnects and or guests. And some of the reconnect groups grew from 4 or 5 people to 8, 9 people, and people felt we were really losing the intent of the reconnect. The one-on-ones, I can assure you that everyone in our group is on their own accord, proactively doing one-on-ones with the rest of the members regularly, as well as with the guests, and vice versa. You will see the group regularly supporting each other in networking events and or potentially workshop seminars. And, you know, so a lot of, you know, because a lot of people, when they come into the group as guests, some people are concerned about only meeting once a month, and that's not what happens with our group. Yes, there's one large meeting. There's definitely a reconnect. There's a social. there's one-on-ones, and then we also do other things together, personally and or professionally. Swim lanes, this is one that I think the group has done a great job mastering. And we've tried to leverage the skills in our group. As an example, Natalie Corona is an HR consulting. So when we built out the whole HR aspect, we had her in HR consulting, but that we let her build that section and coach us and educate us, because her knowing it best enabled us to get a payroll person, 401k, small benefits, large benefits, and we're now even looking at a interim, meaning what I'll call mid benefit. So when you look across the group, there will be 6 professionals in that space. Had we brought in a PEO person as an example, nothing wrong with that, but that would have really limited what we would have done. So we've done the same thing when you get to wealth management, M&A, exit planning. We have 3 professionals in that world, but we made sure they're complementary. And we've done the same on some other business categories. But we've tried to leverage the expertise in the room. If we get into a conflict on business, swim lanes, which we don't now, but as we built the group, we would simply have the member and the potential member meet and try to discuss, is it going to work? Is it going to be too confusing to the group? Are they direct competitors? And we were able to work through some where they, on the surface, you would have thought they were direct competitors, but they were not. We did have some that they were, and at that point, we were not able to bring that guest in. You'll see a lot on the Trustegrity LinkedIn posts, as well as a number of reposts that occur within the group. Now let's talk about today's focus, because we've really evolved. We're down to a point today where we have very few swim lanes that are even available. Technology, we are shifting on a payroll role. Believe it or not, we don't have a fractional CMO. We do have several marketing people, but unrelated to full services. And we did have a banker pivot and go to a different group. So we're looking for a banker. The ones in red are ones that or 3 new members that will be joining and starting in the month of July. We continue to be very flexible on attendance and with guests. Again, we don't have any member that doesn't actively ask about a different guest to bring to the group. We do try to be proactive in managing the swim lanes. At this point, our group knows each other so well. We are pretty good about that on the front end, but every now and then we'll miss it. We'll have a conversation because we don't want people to come and feel awkward. But even with 23 members, we are actively probably having 8 to 10 guests at each meeting. The committee member roles, we continue to expand. We want everyone to be involved. So we have members in certain roles rotating of who runs the peer groups, sets up the reconnects, the socials. We've added more people to that part as well. Again, we want everyone to be involved. And over time, some members will graduate off a committee. That's fine too. And we'll have a new member going into that role. The introductions, I can tell you, has been our biggest struggle by far. The larger our group has gotten, the more we've tried to get more creative. We also got tired of hearing ourselves introduce ourselves the same way over time. So we mix that up. We will have different intros around family. How do you introduce someone, or want to be introduced? Tell us several things that are really hot in your business so that we know how to help you better. We continue to mix that up. We try to minimize the member part and give a little more time towards our guests. We are working on a bio sheet now. We have a couple members leading that so that we can give that to our guests, and that allows us to, them to know what we do, and to minimize that part. We just shifted to 2 spotlights each meeting. The members voted on it. It was almost unanimous. We have gotten to a point that if we didn't do this, we would have members literally taking 2 years before they do their next spotlight, and no one in the group felt that was good for the group. So we now have 2 spotlights, 15 minutes each, with the group. I know one of the things that the Alpharetta, our sister group, does very well with Bill is the business discussion. We thought that we were starting to suck at it, quite honestly. I mean, it was the one area where we were cutting corners when we were running out of time. And myself and another member are also in Alpharetta, and we're like, hey, we're missing out on this. And we also have one of the Trustegrity ambassadors, Mark McKenzie, in the group. And so we have focused to make sure we're doing the business discussion effectively. We think it's very important, and it was a miss on our part. So we've actually, changed that part. The meeting venue, again, we have started including the chamber to a lot of our meetings. We go to some of the chamber network meetings as a group. You'll normally see anywhere from 4 to 10 of our members. Some of those you can pay as you go. You don't have to be a member of the chamber. The peer group reconnects. We have really worked on making that effective. And at the moment, every guest walks in, we're thinking through how to put them with a group with the right members. Any member that doesn't make the meeting, unanimously, everyone wants to be at the reconnect. So a member may miss the meeting, but they're going to be at a reconnect. The one-on-ones, again, consistently happen. I think probably like a lot of the other groups that you all are part of, there are certain members that naturally work with each other more because of the business they're in. So you will see one-on-ones or small groups occur that will look like one-on-ones, but they're all in the exact area where they can help each other more than others. Ironically, on the quarterly annuals or an annual social, we have stayed with St. Patty's Day, Cinco de Mayo. We do a summer pool lake party, Oktoberfest, and then a December holiday party. Now, we did just have to add monthly happy hours. And we're doing that because when I say that we truly had several members that would go to every reconnect, it got out of control. And so what we're saying now is the happy hours are members only. The socials are for members and guests. So for those that want to do a bigger reconnect, if you will, we're going to have that in place. These are already being calendarized. Well, actually, they are calendarized. And we rotate the day a week on the happy hours because every member has different commitments, family or business at night. The member spotlight, social LinkedIn posts. We're going to go through some samples of those, but we use that as a huge promotional item for each member in their business. It's huge for Forsyth Chamber, but it's also unbelievable for Trustegrity. And we're going to show some samples. We now are to a point where we're doing seminars and workshops together. And we're even doing workshop seminars to where, like, I'm doing a sales workshop as an example at our CPA members firm to help them with their about 30, 40 of their clients. But obviously that helps me in my business. And we've had others doing something similar with EOS and a different company. So we have a lot of people trying to get creative of how do we help each other in our businesses, doing workshops at our banking members location over time.
Dean, I just want you to go a little bit quicker, mister, because we're just,
All right, not a problem.
please.
Well, when we get to the
Thank you.
examples, we're going to fly. Referrals, introductions, we're very clear that we're not a referral group, but I can tell you there is significant business occurring within our group between each other and helping each other and with our guests. We do have everyone either trained or in the process of being trained nationally. We have some members based on their business. They are absolutely leveraging Trustegrity nationally in other groups. We have others that focus more locally. But if they're not trained and don't know how to use the site, it's kind of hard to have that national collaboration. Just a couple things we do. We have slides for the members so that everyone, this is part of our agenda, so that the guests know the members, what we do. You'll see the openings. Some of these have been filled at this point. We have a little composite that we throw up. Because if you're a guest, and even as we were growing, it was hard for people to remember each other's names and face. Sounds kind of comical, but it was definitely true. So we have the composite. These leaders, you continue to see multiple people added to each category. I can tell you right now, if I happen to miss a meeting, I've got 6 to 8 members that can run the meeting better than I can run it. So we're really, really blessed. And I know for those of you who know me know that that's pretty easy for someone else to run it better than me. We plan ahead on the spotlights out for the year. That's what also led to saying we've got to now do 2 spotlights. So in July, August, so forth, you'll see these combined, and we're now starting to map that out so that we have the 2 per month. Just an example of the event schedule that we've had this past year, just some photos of the group. We've had as many as 44 people at the socials. Generally, there's about 20, 25 that show up, both members and guests. That number continues to grow just because of the number of members. The LinkedIn, probably the strongest thing we do. This is an example of Frank Thomas, who presented. We kind of tie his business, the individual, the large group you'll see and then the family. When we go out, we do a basic write-up, talk about what they said to promote them. You'll see a lot of tagging in here, but then you really see tagging. The members are on the unit. Then we go over into the comments and you're seeing tagging. But what you're not seeing here are the 5 or 6 reposts or more that the members are doing to help each other. We'll see the Forsyth Chamber repost. When Kimberly sends out those wonderful introductions, we take those, we play those up with tags, and then we repost. And what you'll find, most importantly, is start looking at the analytics. I mean, 700, 1,300, 600 impressions. We're talking huge numbers. Again, 575, almost 1,800, almost 700. These are just examples of the new members. But every time we do that, every guest, all 72 of them that have been to visit our group, they're seeing those. We've had 5 members join because they constantly saw the activity and said, I'm going to find a way to be a part of this group. In terms of the meetings, these are samples of every meeting. We have some fun with the member and we do a post now on the meetings. And again, you're seeing almost 800, 764, 1,522. In this particular case, we even did a post on the chamber representative doing her presentation in our meeting, and look at the visibility we got from that part. This continues. Over time, we've made these more family. I mean, quite honestly, I had the group look at the slides I built for this. They said, where in the heck is your family pictures, Dean? I'm like, oh, that's a miss. And they're like, that's a big miss. I mean, so we're very, family oriented. We want to share that. We think that helps our members when we're promoting them. We think it helps Trustegrity. But again, look at these here. 822, 670, 1,076 in the analytics. Huge numbers. 880, over 1,000, 930. I mean, again, really big numbers. You're at 4 something, 2572. Again, I mean, very big numbers when we're doing these. We try to focus on other events. So Deal Makers was in Atlanta. Natalie Corona was there. I mean, you're seeing 1,300 impressions on this one. I can tell you there were a couple others that are even above that one. We have Butch Nicholson, who's with Fist Bump, that does live shows. So he hosted Richard Kirby, who's a Vistage chair, who actually is in our group. And, we promoted that event. I was on the show. We promoted that as well. Butch is now having every member on his shows. I'm not sure what we just did here, but we're almost through these. A chamber event, but yet we had a lot of members. You'll see Frank Thomas here in the member, a couple other members in the group here. Same thing with Radio X, and tied it into the chamber. One of our newest members, Fred Bazzuta, coming on board. Again, a lot of exposure. We were at the Politics and Pints event with the chamber. So we try to promote those because the chamber has been just instrumental for us in helping us in Forsyth. Talking about events, I'm literally speaking as an example with Marshall Jones. They were looking for a way as a CPA firm to add more value to their clients. She's already had EOS member do the same. I'm going to speak at Kennesaw State tomorrow. It's a full packed house. I've got 5 members there. They're there to support me in the event. I didn't ask them to be there. They saw the event, they signed up. So we try to do that to help each other. As Mark McKenzie, one of our founding members, said, we're going to be wingmen and women for each other. So we know when we go to an event, if 4 or 5 of us can show up, it's amazing how many people we can meet together, potential members, potential clients. And I think that kind of goes through all the sides, Kimberly. But I think
Yes, you did good. Thank you.
I think that, yeah, I mean, so hopefully I didn't run over, but I knew I'd fly through those. But what I will tell you is we're having a lot of fun with this. But I fought Kimberly and David on this on the front end. The aces were by far the hardest part. And thank God that we were blessed with having 5 strong people that wanted to build something special with two more joining back in quickly to help build it, because it really gave our group a totally different culture and character and diversity that we would have never had otherwise. And yeah, I'm very, very blessed with having those people. They're my friends. I mean, we built something special. I can assure you, I could have never done this on my own. So, um, but we're big believers. We've got a good thing building. We're going to continue to try to do the right things. And all I will tell you is most of what we've learned is the hard way, and we continue to pivot as we get larger.
Yes.
Man, what great best practices. What a good example of doing things differently. And I would compliment you. That's awesome. It's totally unique and it's way above, I think, what most of us are doing. So it's, first of all, good for you. And it shows with your membership. Are you willing to share parts of that presentation or the presentation with us?
Yeah, I
No,
will send it out in a
absolutely.
PDF.
I love it, dude. You've got
Yeah.
great detail in there and you're doing some really unique things. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I'll drop it in. I'll send it
Absolutely.
as a PDF so you guys have that in there. You'll be able to see
And
it.
I've
Yeah.
always appreciated, I mean, that's the other part, because I've appreciated your help, Paul Bishop, Steve Landrum's. I mean, Bill Franklin's been a great partner in Alpharetta. I know Joe Muscus and Jim Tate, I know well. And that collaboration, just, beating things up to say, how do I work around this? How do I handle this? I mean, that has been huge, I know, for me. And I think that's something I think we all can, I know I can do a better job with that, but I think that's something we all should strive to do.
Dean, will you just stop sharing so that way we can actually all see each other real quick as we wrap this up? Thank you so much. I know Dean had like I said, it's a lot of information that he had there. And I hope everyone got something out of it. If you have any questions, like I said, drop them in the WhatsApp chat. I know I've tried to answer some questions on there as we've gone along. Dean, I know you can answer this one real quick. So Eugene asked, who's responsible for the postings? Because everyone's, I believe, is just posting themselves. You guys kind of repost what we post, but if you're doing something for your group or for you individually on the group, who is doing that? And it's only in LinkedIn. That's the only social media, right?
Yeah, we're only doing it on LinkedIn. I mean, I think if you look at our typical member, I mean, not that we're not connected personally on Facebook, but business wise, we're only on LinkedIn. And we've kind of built I do the post, but we've kind of built a generic format that the group all participated. And that was really the shift from how do we do more personal. And I gotta be honest, it happened by mistake. We forgot to take pictures one meeting. So we took pictures out of the family pictures from the member that did the presentation. We literally went back and grabbed a picture of the big group we always show from a prior meeting. No one caught that one. And then everyone's like, why are we not doing this naturally? And then all of a sudden, every spotlight, the very first, it gets to the why. And family is almost every time number one. And we've really, and everyone's having fun doing it. So, but we kind of have a general template. And you'll notice it'll be it wasn't like that originally, but it became too much work. So where you can take the member and a couple little blurbs on what they presented, and then everything else through there is pretty much the same.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. David, did you want to wrap us up?
Sure, Dean. First of all, thank you so much for your time and sharing. One of the things that I just truly love about you is you're not only willing to build your group, you're willing to help the whole organization and just go all in on us and relationships and whatnot. You're an incredible human being, and I appreciate you taking the time to be here today. For the rest of you, wouldn't you just love to be a part of that group? That's what makes it compelling. He has really taken a business concept and made it fun. He's made it family oriented. He's made it just compelling. I mean, people want to be involved, through all the energy that they're creating as a group. And you know what? It started with one person. It started with Dean. Then it was a few aces, and now it's 19 people building this community in Forsyth County, and they're absolutely doing a remarkable job. And Dean, I love how you're just really diving into some of the, I guess, the key success factors of the organization. You know, you've put such a huge importance on the Reconnect Power Groups. You know, I mean, that's just a huge part of what you guys are doing. The quarterly events, you know, business is more than just about business, folks. Business is about fun. It's about connection. And you guys are doing that through those quarterly events, which is incredible. And then, you know, using LinkedIn, which I agree with you, you know, that's the platform for us to be on. Using LinkedIn and creating all the virility, I guess, you know, through the posting and whatnot that you're doing, you know, not only to promote the group, to promote the members individually, I think is absolutely phenomenal. You know, I follow your posts, I follow your group's post, and there's lots of people on there asking lots of questions and doing lots of business, you know, just as a byproduct of all that activity that you're doing. So just want to thank you, and I think you have an amazing group. I think you're an amazing human, and I really, really appreciate your leadership in the organization. And folks, he is here to help you. I hope you're okay if I throw this out here, Dean. But you know, if you want to have a conversation with him, call him. I mean, he will talk to anybody and help any of you. You know, I've connected him with several new people in the organization who were, you know, trying to figure this out, and he's just been over the top willing to help out. So once again, just thank you so much for doing what you do.
Hey, could you help me convince my wife with all those nice things that you said about me?
Yeah, we have it recorded, so you can send it to her.
I'm not sure she'll believe your words, but
We'll show the video. I think we're going to wrap this up, give you guys 3 minutes back in your day. I'll make sure I save the chat. Any questions that we haven't answered, we'll make sure we answer those in WhatsApp, and feel free to put your questions in the WhatsApp chat and let us know how we can help. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you everyone for being on the call.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.